Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wildcard round matchup versus the Washington football team. So, with that being said, this is going to be talking about some of the storylines that will be going into said game. The first storyline being, will Mike Evans or Devin White be able to play in this game? Now, I think it's already been confirmed, unfortunately, that due to being on the illness list, testing positive for the illness, Devin White won't be able to play in this game. I believe that's been confirmed by Jen Lane of ESPN, among a couple of others. And I would say even if there is some chance that he may be able to play that hasn't been reported yet, something along those lines, it's very unlikely. Devin White, you are to assume, is not going to be playing in round one of the Buccaneers playoffs. But Mike Evans was already running in the pool the day after the game where he hyperextended his knee, and the Buccaneers, again, are optimistic that he will be playing in that playoff game. So there's some huge good, but some huge bad as well. I mean, having Mike Evans is going to be awesome. You know, I believe it was Bruce Arians or somebody had said that Mike Evans at 80% is better than a decent amount of people's 100%, which I believe that 100% in my own right. I mean, Mike Evans is just so phenomenal. You don't get NFL records and franchise records like he does by fluke. You get it because you're good, and you get it because you're one of the better wide receivers in the NFL. I've seen some people argue that they just should rest Mike Evans because it's the Washington football team. That's very frustrating to hear, in my opinion. And the reason for that is, you know, as fans, I understand having confidence, and I understand, you know, thinking that your team is going to win a game, no problem. I do it sometimes, from time to time, right? I've done that before. But to say that you just don't want all hands on deck for the Buccaneers' first playoff game in 13 years, you just say, nah, rest Mike Evans. It's fine. It's the Washington football team, is not a good way to look at that, in my opinion. You should want Mike Evans to play in his first football game if he can go. You know, I mean, Mike Evans is certainly going to want to play in his first, you know, playoff football game. You know darn well that Mike Evans is going to sit there and say, yeah, we're playing. Yeah, that means I'm playing. And all the Buccaneers players, all the Buccaneers coaching staff had said a similar thing throughout this week. So to just kind of like shrug it off and say, meh, Mike Evans isn't going to be 100%, it's fine, we don't need to play him, I disagree with that. I really do. I just can't agree with something like that. I think that we should have all hands on deck, and if Mike Evans can go, then put him out there, because I'm sure he wants to be out there, and even at 80%, he's still a very solid wide receiver, as, you know, a lot of people have already said. So, with that being said, Mike Evans is, you know, probably going to be playing in this game. Devin White, not so much. The next point I want to make, or I guess the next storyline going into the game, is going to be the Washington defense is pretty darn good at all levels. And I've been mentioning this all week. The defensive line for the Washington football team, solid. The secondary for the Washington football team, solid. The linebackers for the Washington football team, I mean, they're fine. They have a couple of good guys in there, and I think that they are overachieving to a certain degree, but that's definitely maybe the weaker unit of the three groups. So they're a good Washington defense. It's pretty much the reason that they are in the playoffs right now, is because of how good that defense is. So this is certainly going to be a challenge for the Buccaneers offense coming into round one of the playoffs. As I said, they need all hands on deck. They need all their weapons there, regardless of what percentage they are, just to get out there and try and do some things, you know? So, because this is a good defense, and you can't take them lightly. You should not take a team lightly. None of those guys in that locker room and in that coaching staff room are going to take this Washington football team lightly, so we probably shouldn't as fans either. So, with that being said, the next storyline going into this upcoming game is going to be playoff Tom Brady. And playoff Tom Brady is really freaking good. I know a lot of people still have that stigma from the last game when they played the Tennessee Titans, got knocked out in round one, and Tom Brady finished that game with a pick six from Logan Ryan, but Tom Brady's looked the best he has looked in years in his first season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, seriously, he had just threw the second most touchdown passes in his entire career. You tell me Tom Brady is looking like a 43-year-old quarterback right now. He's not at all. He is looking definitely like he looked like when he was in his prime. And you know what? That is pretty darn good for the Buccaneers, especially when it comes to the playoffs, because if they get anything close to prime Tom Brady when he was playing in the playoffs during those years, the Buccaneers are going to be in phenomenal shape throughout this process. So let's hope for the best for Tom Brady. This is, some of the big moments. This is why the Buccaneers brought him in, is because one, they knew that they'd have a way better shot of making the playoffs, and two, they knew that once they got there, that yeah, things are going to be turned up a whole heck of another level. So I'm very excited to see Tom Brady with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their first playoff game in 13 years. The second to last storyline I want to talk about, guys, is there are going to be some players returning who were not available for the Buccaneers in Week 17. I'm talking about Shaq Barrett. I'm talking about Ronald Jones, who he did play in Week 17, but he should be getting a much bigger workload in this upcoming playoff game. And Carlton Davis, who will definitely be, happy to be there because, quite frankly, the Buccaneers pass rush and the Buccaneers secondary struggled without guys like Shaq Barrett and Carlton Davis, and I think even the run game struggled a little bit without Ronald Jones. So all three of those guys, heck yeah, get back in here, guys. We need all of you to be here because, yeah, it is going to be, quite the game, I think. I think that, we need the pass rush, we need somebody to take care of Terry McLaurin, and we need Ronald Jones to run his heart out, and fingers crossed that all those things happen. I think they will, and yeah, I'm excited to get those three guys back because they're three of my top favorite players on this team, so woo, feels good to get some of our star players back. The last storyline I guess I want to talk about going into this game is going to be, our players going to be ready for the moment, right? Players need to be ready for the moment. There's a lot of guys on this team right now who have not been to the playoffs before. Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa, Tristan Wirfs, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Ronald Jones. That's just on the offense, too. On the defensive side, Devin White, he's not going to be playing in this game, but still, the entirety of the secondary has not been to the playoffs, by the way. So that's a big deal, right? These guys need to be ready for the moment. They need to be ready for the spotlight because, with Tom Brady in the playoffs, yeah, there's going to be some spotlights on you. So I think they will be ready for the moment, but at the end of the day, they are human. So I really want those guys to take their time, soak it in, breathe it in, man, drink it in, man, and just get ready to play some playoff football and not get overwhelmed by the moment. Just, take a breath, relax, and just go out there and play the best football that you can play for 60 minutes. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end off this preview video. Let me know your thoughts about everything that I said down in the comment section below. What do you think about the idea of resting Mike Evans for this playoff game just because it's the Washington football team? Again, I strongly disagree with something like that. You guys are free to, talk with me about it down in the comment section below. I appreciate all opinions. If you guys want to call me stupid, go ahead and call me stupid. I am stupid after all. I'm it's just how things are. But let me know your thoughts about all that stuff. Mike Evans, Devin White, the Washington defense, playoff Tom Brady, the players returning, then finally some of these guys who may be playing in their first playoff game. Give me your thoughts about all of that down in the comments section below. And, guys, before I end this video, I just wanted to say thank you. Whatever happens in this playoff game, the Bucs win, they move on to the next round, they lose, they're eliminated from playoff contention, whatever happens, this has been an insane year for the YouTube channel. I don't remember what we started off on, before the season started, or I guess even going as far back as January of, 2020, but I know that we've gained a couple thousand subscribers throughout this season, which blows my mind. And I'm so thankful to everybody in the community who I've been able to work with throughout this season, being on podcasts, the Cannon Fire podcast. I thank those guys so much because they, their friendship means the world to me, and I've been able to be on some of their shows, and it's been amazing. The Pewter Cast, Real Bucs Talk, Real Talk Perez, Buccos Locker, just in the YouTube platform. I'm not even talking about all the other podcasts and, people on Twitter and Instagram pages and all these other types of things in the Buccaneers community that I've been able able to just see and interact with throughout this season. It's been amazing. It's been such a fun experience, and I thank you for all the new people who have been able to subscribe, come to the channel, all the regulars who have been here following me for years now. I mean, this has been one heck of a season, and I'm so excited to see where the channel goes now in the future, because I think we're going to just continue to have more fun and just continue to talk about the Buccaneers more and more and just all hang out and have a fun time as a Bucs community. So, again, guys, thank you. That's all I can really say, because it really does mean the world to me. So, with that being said, guys, I'll end off this video now. Done rambling, and I'll see you guys in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.